Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host, your expert life strategist, Karena Calhoun, and I'm super duper excited to be on the air with you all yet again, providing amazing insight, amazing empowerment strategies, just really inspiring you and educating you to up level your life, your career, and your business. I am super excited about every single episode, and today is no different. Today, we have Dr. Marilyn Rafih on the show, and I'm super excited to be talking to Dr. Marilyn Rafih. So, Marilyn, how are you doing today?
Hi, Karina. I'm doing great and I'm really excited about our discussion.
Yes, I am too. So, Marilyn, tell us where in the world you are.
So now I am in sunny London. It's a word or a sentence that you won't hear a lot because sunny and London, they don't go together. But today is a special day. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And why is today a special day? Because of the sun being out?
I don't know. There is some nice energy. I woke up there. I had a lot of nice things, fruitful things for, my business and everything. So sometimes there's those days where you have to, I don't know, seize them.
Absolutely. Marilyn, I agree 100% with you. I woke up this morning and I was feeling so good. Not to say that I don't feel good when I wake up typically, but for some reason this morning I woke up and I just felt amazing and I was just ready to go get it. So I absolutely love that, the fact that we can be, you know, so many different things can be going on in the world around us, but yet we have that great perspective to say, you know what, I'm going to seize the day. So, Marilyn, tell us how you are loving on the world around you.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I work on emotional eating, and it's something I'll discuss in a lot of details. I wanted to comment on what you said about having a great day, which is really linked to, I feel, emotional eating, which is basically, as women, I feel we're very afraid to be happy, to,
Hmm.
own it, own our happiness. I don't know, there's still some taboos for women not to, for women to be happy for themselves, not for their families, not for their entourage. And basically, really linked to this, for me, I've been doing diets all my life. They never worked. I mean, maybe at the beginning they worked, but I counted, I did more than 21 diets.
Wow.
And yeah, and at some point I was thinking, I was like in my mid 30s, I was thinking, if I know all about diets, I'm a pharmacist, I have a PhD in genetics. I tried it all. Still, I'm very confused, what to eat, what not to eat. It's not working for me. And at that time I was doing therapy, and I got into I got this book called Emotional Eating from Janine Roth, really good. And I discovered that, yeah, actually diets don't work, uh, not because my body's flawed, or I have something in me, or I'm not good enough, or but actually because the way I was raised or brought up, or the tools that were given to me to deal with life, was food. So every time I had any small thing or big thing in life, I would deal with it through food, to numb it through food. If I felt ashamed at work, if I felt not good enough, X, Y, Z. And
Yeah,
if you,
Marilyn,
yeah,
I really want to interrupt you, and I typically don't do this, but listen, you are starting off very deep in this conversation, and I am in love with it. I am already inspired and awed by there's three things that I want to point out. And the reason why I want to interrupt you, and like I said, I never do this, but the reason why I want to interrupt you is because I can already see that this entire conversation is going to be absolutely crazy bananas good. And so, three things you've already said just in this short amount of time. Number one, you are a pharmacist. You have a PhD, and you were confused about
yeah,
diet. So
yeah,
imagine. So that's one thing that I just kind of wanted to bring to the forefront. So imagine those of us that don't know anything about this, how we're feeling. Because raise my hand. I've been on fad diets and just different types of diets throughout my life as well. And they had me confused too. So
Yeah.
just for you to say, listen, I have a PhD in pharmaceuticals, but yet here I am confused. I can't tell you how liberating that is for those of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that is first and foremost. I did not want to gloss past that.
Thank
And then
you.
the second thing was that women, we've not been made to feel like we should be, could be, should be, are allowed to be happy,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
about things in our lives. Even
Mm.
us. Oh my God. Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh
God,
my
that is
God. Yeah.
liberating. And then the fact that you said, listen, I am just like about to scream in here. And then you said the statement about emotional eating. Listen, I had to recognize when I was in corporate America that I stress ate. I was an emotional
Yeah.
eater and I had to learn that. Oh my goodness. I am just like, so I just want to encourage those. I wanted to go back to those three details because they were so profound. And I want those of you that are listening, I say this all the time, take notes, but take action. I really want you all to listen to what Dr. Marilyn has said. And she's already given me the green light to call her Dr. Marilyn or Marilyn. So I just want those to know that are listening that I'm not being disrespectful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
take notes and please, please, please rewind, listen to this over and over again. Reach out to her because off the gate, she's blazing it. I'm sorry, the floor is yours.
No, it's really true. And you know what? When I when I decided I'm going to do emotional eating, the work, not just for me, but for others, and I launched my podcast, a lot of people like were a bit feeling, ashamed to admit, or some people would tell me like, you're going to niche yourself. Why do you go into such a specific, niche? And what I've realized, because now when you're vulnerable, people become vulnerable with you. When you tell your story, you hear. So I've noticed, I think, honestly, at least 75% of people are emotional eaters. Of course, in some shape or form, I would say even 90, you know. Some people do it often, some people don't do it very frequently. And men and women equally. So we always think like there's still some taboo, which is crazy because, with all the movement on mental health, there's still some taboo on like we eat emotionally. We all use food to soothe our emotions. And what I always like to say to people, eating to soothe your emotion, it's neither good nor bad. I'm not here to tell you if it's good or bad for you. If you come to a point in your life where you feel it hinders the progress of your life, I know a lot of your listeners want to live a fuller life, they're entrepreneurs and things like that. If it hinders their life, then maybe, yeah, it's time for them to do something about it. But never feel that I have to change for someone else because, yeah. So, yeah.
And I think this is an amazing topic to talk about, even as you talked about, connecting this connection with the mental health, the mental wellness aspect that is so impactful across the world, not just a specific region, but across the world, and how we can connect that emotional eating to that mental wellness. And I love the fact that you have stated that you're not here to judge anyone, you're not here to bash anyone, just be safe in it. That's really what I hear you
Yeah.
saying. Be
Yeah.
safe in
Yeah.
whatever it is you're doing. And that's for myself. And I'm just being very transparent here today on
Yeah.
the show. I, like I said, I had to realize several years ago that I emotional eat. And so now I'm able to curve that so that it's not detrimental to me. So give us some examples of how we can do that.
How we can work on the emotional eating, you
Yes.
mean? Yeah, so it all starts with awareness. And I know you had some episodes on this. So, and the thing is that sometimes awareness is like the definition gets lost along the way because everyone uses it. But what I would say. So first is try to understand if when you're eating, are you eating out of body hunger, physiological hunger? Is it in your stomach, the hunger? Or is it, we call it emotional hunger or mouth hunger, when you need to put something on your mouth. And I know a lot of listeners, if they've done a lot of diets, they don't even know the difference. So just a disclaimer, it took me maybe 2-3 weeks to understand what physical hunger was, because my diets, they blunted all, the signals. So just to try to understand, once you know, okay, this is me eating like out of mouth hunger, out of emotional hunger, ask yourself, what am I feeling? And I mean, again, a lot of us have not been educated on emotions. You can Google the wheel of emotions, see the nuances. Am I feeling, this very frequently happened to me after meetings at work. Because what actually would happen, I would say something like stupid, like I always do, or just someone like I felt bad, like shame, guilt, things like that. So, okay, I did a meeting at work. After that, I'm reaching to food to soothe. Maybe someone triggered me. Maybe someone reminded me of my father, which I didn't have a good relationship with them. Maybe I just said something stupid or whatever. And try to think, okay, what do I really need to feel better? Will food make me feel better? Probably for the first 2-3 minutes. But what will end up is that I will have two problems. The fact that I ate and, all our self-talk. And the other thing is like the original problem that, I didn't solve with food. Ask yourself, and again, say with all the self-love and compassion, you deserve to soothe in a good way, in a way that helps you. Do I want to go for a walk? And I know some people get annoyed when I say go for a walk, but it could stay, you can lie on the bed for 10 minutes, listen to your favorite song, call your friend, even like go for a massage if you have time. I know sometimes we don't have time, but just like try to find something that will actually soothe you. And with time, it's going to become easier and easier. And it's a journey. Don't put too much pressure that today I'm stopping emotional eating for good. So that's one thing on the spot, what you can do. But one thing I feel we should do like throughout the week and our life is raise our level of well-being or happiness so that we don't get so low and then we have to eat. So, for example, if you're a mom and you have your kids are at school during the week and you have free time and weekends are crazy and this is when you binge or you emotionally eat, you can spend some time during the week when you're free, I don't know, taking like going for a massage, things like that. So just take care of yourself and this need will be lower in a way.
I love that. I love that. And those are practical tips,
Yeah.
practical strategies. Just you differentiating between um, mouth or emotional hunger. I've never heard it in that term, mouth hunger versus stomach hunger.
Mm.
And that's one thing that I think all of us listening can really focus in on when we sit down to eat, whether it's a snack, I love chocolate, I love
Mm.
chips,
Yeah.
uh, things like that. Is it mouth hunger or is it stomach hunger?
Yeah.
And I remember, um, and like you said, I would leave work frustrated, angry, resentful, just all types of really bad emotions in a tight ball. And I would leave work and on the way home, call my husband and say, hey, meet me at whatever restaurant. And that would be my therapy,
Yeah.
which then
Yeah.
increased my weight. I've lost weight since then. I'm thankful for that. But that would be my therapy. And I remember one time when it was becoming very clear to me. And I'm going through all of this, those of you that are listening, because I want you to understand the real life that Marilyn is talking about, because we all experience it and sometimes we don't realize it. But I was sitting there and I was telling him, because it just dawned on me after we were doing this for so long, that I said, I don't do retail therapy. I emotional eat to cope with the stressors that are going on around me.
Yeah, and they're actually very similar because if
Mm.
you think retail therapy, so I call it emotional shopping, social media consumption, and food, the three of them, and also cigarettes and other things, but the three of them, they release the same hormone in our brain, which is dopamine, the reward hormone. So yes, yeah, and what I want to say is that because I'm just thinking of the listeners, like if I can, I'm projecting what I've been feeling on your listeners. So maybe, I don't know if it's correct or not, but when I noticed I did this, I was like angry at myself. Why
Mm.
do I use food to soothe? And just don't be angry at yourself. The way it starts very early in childhood, in newborns. Because moms, when the child cries, sometimes very often they don't know why. So they give milk to the child. Or when they become toddlers or a bit older, and for example they get like they do tantrums, they would give them foods, and especially in like previous generation, emotion, like people were not so emotionally literate, if you want, in like, yeah, I mean, it's not their fault, but that's how it was. And they wouldn't teach us, oh no, okay, now you're not feeling well, let's do something else. They would say, no, 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 don't feel sad, don't cry, come, let's go for an ice cream. And then you start making links in your brain.
Yeah.
So it's just accepting this is how it was and taking the power back. Now I get to decide.
Yeah. And I am literally like going through so much in my mind as you're speaking. And um this is just such an amazing conversation because I am self-reflecting on my life. And I just remember you talked about the different types of emotional, basically responses. And so I think back to my initial emotional response was shopping. And I remember when I would be stressed out and I'd get off work and different things like that, and I would go and do the retail therapy. Um, and I remember walking into a store and being in a frenzy on the inside. Um, the fear of missing out and just all of this anxiety trying to get to whatever it is, clothes, shoes, jewelry, perfume, whatever it was, to make me feel good. And then I'd get home and I'd be deflated just in that quick time. And then so I evolved from the retail therapy into the emotional eating. And then because I became aware of the retail therapy and the bad decisions from that. And so then I moved into emotional eating. And then when I became aware of that, then I evolved into the social media consumption. And then when I became aware of that, for the most part, unless it's for work, I've removed certain things regarding social media from my even just my phone, unless it's just for work. Because
Yeah.
I've become aware of those evolutions of my emotional responses because I want to be aware of Karina and how I'm responding in certain situations so that that dopamine that I get is not something that just comes and goes fleetingly.
Yeah. And I had a conversation with the therapist, Susie Orbach, and she said, for some people, I mean, some emotions are too hard to bear that it's okay now and then, like we're humans, we will do emotional shopping, we'll do emotional eating. It's just if it affects our day-to-day life, this is when we have to work on it. And it's funny because same as you, like, what are the tools that we have, like, and the thing is that, again, I think for women, we don't know who we are. I was doing actually a meditation, a mindfulness journey, whatever, and the teacher said, okay, come here today, remove all the tags or the hats or who you are, and just come as who you are. And I had no idea who I was. I didn't know what I liked, but with all those tags, okay, I know I'm a mom, I know I'm a sister, I know I have this job, but if you remove this, who am I? What do I like? And a lot of women don't know what they like.
I
So
love it.
maybe, yeah, ask yourself, what do I read? Like my inner child, when I was little, what did I enjoy? maybe playing the piano, or just do what you enjoy, like your inner child enjoys, and
I,
this
I
is how to live life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I so agree with you, Marilyn. I went to an event this past weekend, a 3-day event, and that was one of the things that the leader um, had us to do before entering the event. She gave us a name tag. We had to write our name on the name tag, but then she gave us another sheet of paper and she said, write every title that you have that you associate yourself with, write it on this
Uh-huh.
paper. And we didn't know what we were supposed to do with that. So we did that. And then she said, now throw it in the trash can.
Wow. How did you feel?
I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it. I crave to just be me
Yeah.
and not to not wear so many hats, but to be my authentic self. And
Yeah.
so, when it comes to the emotional eating, and I think probably you could explain this a lot better, but when we are pulling back from that emotional eating, we are more aware of who we are and
Yeah,
accept
definitely.
who we are. I think that's
Yeah.
the key, probably accepting of who we are. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. So I have two things. One, I completely agree that working on your emotional eating is not just like a fitness or health or diet or whatever you call it journey. It's a self-discovery journey. I noticed that after talking to certain friends, I would do emotional eating, and I realized, oh, actually, maybe those people, they're not, like, I shouldn't hang out so much with them. I noticed so many angles about my personality. So that was the first thing. And then, yeah, the other thing I feel, I can't remember what I was going to say, but I think that's what I was going to say. It all links back. Yeah, you were saying, who am I? We wear different masks because why? Because our parents, again, I love to talk about childhood. So I don't know. I hope your listeners will benefit from this. But very often our parents wanted us to wear masks. So they wanted us to be this perfect little girl. They wanted us to smile. They wanted us to do X, Y, Z. And this is the way we received their love and attention. So you
Mm,
continue your life with those masks, and it's so draining, to wear those masks. And
yes.
at some point, something's got to give and you eat.
Oh my,
So,
I
yeah.
love this conversation. This is something that I really truly believe a conversation that needs to be had around the world. And I am
Mm.
so thankful, so grateful that you decided to be on this particular show because the information that you have been giving and just the love that I feel the non judgmental information that you're releasing. You talk to some people and it's like, I kind of
Yeah.
feel like, they might be judging a little bit, but yours is coming through just really heartfelt, and I appreciate that.
And I
Marilyn,
really appreciate,
yes.
yeah, like so thankful to be on your podcast and to have the possibility to share this message because it's my life purpose. So,
Mhm. I love that. I absolutely love that. So give us just one last words of wisdom to really take with us. You've given us so much. I mean, I can say that with all certainty. You've given us so much, but give us your last words of wisdom and tell us how we can get in touch with you best.
yeah, so I guess the words of wisdom is if you want to start your journey on emotional eating, know that it's a journey, come from a non judgmental place, as we've mentioned, but also try to give yourself the love that you never received it from your parents. Just imagine you have an inner child and an inner adult. Let the inner adult give the inner child the love and attention that they need and then deserve, and the unconditional love. So it's not because I finished all my tasks at work that tonight I'm loving myself. I love myself whether I'm productive or not, whether I'm well dressed, I made my hair like pretty or not. So this is the words of wisdom. And how to get in touch with me. So I have a podcast called Emotional Eating with Marilyn, where I talk about all the angles of emotional eating. So Emotional Eating with Marilyn. Marilyn is Marilyn. And also I have social media. I'm starting on social media again. I don't love it, TikTok and Instagram, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
Absolutely.
Also, also emotional eating with Marilyn. And I also give coaching sessions for specifically for emotional eating, and it's on my website. So marilynrafih.com.
I
Yeah.
love that. And folks, please go and listen to Marilyn's podcast, subscribe, listen to every episode, really digest, intended, digest this information, because this is life changing. I can tell you, if I had known Marilyn 6, 7 years ago, oh my goodness, I probably would have been a lot farther along. But nonetheless, she's here now. And I really want you all to take advantage of the opportunity to shift your life in a way that you probably have never considered,
Yeah.
ever considered. And
Well,
that is, I am just so overjoyed. So overjoyed. So, folks, this has been another amazing episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena. We've had Dr. Marilyn Rafih, um, who has just really opened up a lot of information about emotional eating. And please, 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 again, reach out to her, listen to her podcast, get her coaching, connect with her on socials. Do it. Do not delay. So, folks, I will see you all on the flip side. Have a great day.
thank you.